One of the really extraordinary things about the book of Daniel is how it juxtaposes events from the past right next to predictions for the future. So the original readers would have come to this book and they would have encountered historical accounts of how God had worked. Now, these are stories we know: Daniel in the lion's den, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. And right next to those historical accounts, they would have read predictions of events that were hundreds or even thousands of years into the future. And the implication between those two is that the same God who worked in such powerful ways and intervened in the past, well, nothing's changed. That same God is working powerfully right now and will continue to work far into the future. This effect is actually even more dramatic for modern readers, because many of those predictions that Daniel made have now come true. Daniel prophesied them hundreds of years in advance. Well, you can take the text of Daniel, open up a secular history, and you can see line by line how Daniel prophesied that something would happen at a certain time in a certain way, and that's exactly how it happened, except Daniel was predicting it hundreds of years ahead of time. And as we wait now for the fulfillment of the rest of Daniel's prophecies, there's an assurance in that. God knew. God has been working and intervening in human history. Well, nothing's going to change. It's really unfortunate that for the typical modern Bible reader, the book of Daniel is a closed book. And I think that has to do in many ways with some imagery and some challenging things to work through. But if we will invest the time, expend some effort looking at this book, understanding it, and we discover there that it has a critical role for us today. As we face a world that is increasingly chaotic and complicated, Daniel testifies that God is the Lord of history. Nothing ever happens on planet Earth apart from his knowledge, his intervention, his purposes, and his plan.